The view behind me was the inspiration for a very evocative hymn penned by a local clergyman in 1847, which to this day brings tears to the eyes of British sport fans. I wonder if you can guess which hymn it is and where I might be. I'll let you know in just a few moments. Today, it's good old country air that's attracting an artistic duo to move south. And our houses are met with a warm reception.
It has that nice feel about it.
Sort of cosy feel, hasn't
yes,
it?
That's the very word I was looking for, cosy.
There are also some surprises in store.
We certainly weren't asking for period, but this may be an exception.
Today, I'm here in the beautiful county of Devon, and this is All Saints Church in Brixham, where the Reverend Henry Francis Light was the vicar. Tragically, he contracted tuberculosis and had just a few weeks left to live when he wrote the evocative words to Abide With Me, a hymn that's gone on to be sung at every FA Cup final since 1927. His legacy is the creation of a beloved British sporting anthem, and every evening here in Brixham, the streets echo to the sound of church bells ringing out that famous tune. The county of Devon is located in the area of England known as the West Country, with Cornwall to one side and Somerset and Dorset to the other. It features two striking coastlines. The northern one faces out to the Bristol Channel, whilst the southern one includes a large section of the Jurassic Coast, England's first natural World Heritage Site. The cliffs here are a 250 million year walk through time, with some of the oldest and most recent rock formations both located in the county. Inland, Dartmoor National Park combines broad expanses of open moorland and densely wooded or gorse-scattered hills. Dartmoor's deep valleys are home to atmospheric villages and small towns like Chagford. Known for its well-preserved 15th and 16th century buildings, including an impressive octagonal market house, legend has it that a wedding day tragedy in the local church inspired the 19th century historical novel Lorna Doone. So, with its unique coastlines, extraordinary landscapes, and historic towns and villages, Devon is a county that provides a captivating mixture for both a temporary or more permanent country escape. With so much on offer, it's no surprise that here in Devon, the average price of a detached house is £20,000 above the national figure at almost £310,000. And in hotspots like Dartmouth on the River Dart, that can quickly rise. So if you want your money to stretch further, it's worth coming north of the A38, away from the coast, to towns like Buckfastleigh and Ivybridge. But what about today's house hunters? What are they after? Let's find out a little bit more about them. Professional storyteller Janet and her retired systems engineer husband Jeff met 25 years ago over their love of classical music.
You know, we just went to the same event and we just saw each other and lo and behold.
He sat next to me in the proms, and then afterwards we went for a drink.
True love blossomed and they never looked back.
So we got married in '94.
Yeah, so it's 21 years.
Yep.
The things she gets me into. You never know what's going to happen next week.
They have lived together in their 4-bedroom bungalow in Ewell in Surrey for 23 years, but it's been home to Jeff for even longer.
I bought this bungalow with my brother over 30 years ago. It's a very nice cul-de-sac, nice neighbours, but
It's off a dual carriageway, and we're just 400 yards from the boundary with Greater London.
Unfortunately, Janet has faced health problems over the years, and living so close to the big smoke often makes matters worse. The hope is that a move to the country with access to fresh sea air will provide something of a tonic.
So we want to look to go into the country or to by the seaside,
yes,
because the air will be cleaner. So part of it's a health reason.
And after a trial run, they know just where they'd love to be.
We plan to move to Devon. focus somewhere around Sidmouth. We have a flat in Sidmouth which we've been using for the past 4 years as a kind of transition flat. Get to know the area and get to know people. I know Sidmouth very well. I've been going there since 1976.
Janet's love of a good read means they'll have plenty of company in the form of a rather large amount of reading material.
One peak I had 3,000 books. I've been packing my books since last November.
Yes. And that's why we've got 160 odd boxes in the garage at the moment.
Yes, that's true. And that doesn't include the 1,000 I've given away.
Janet is planning to continue her storytelling after the move. And Jeff will have plenty to keep him busy too.
I have 3 main interests, one of which is photography, the other is golf, and the third is volunteering. I've been volunteering with the Epsom Riding for Disabled group now for 15 years, and I'm hoping to explore the opportunities wherever it is we end up for the local Riding for Disabled.
With their bungalow already sold, it's time to get the ball rolling on their property search. So they'll shortly be moving to their flat in Sidmouth while they wait for their Devonshire dream home to come along.
I'm really looking forward to moving down to Devon. I want to be able to walk out my front door and be in country, breathing in the fresh air, but also being able to enjoy seeing nature.
I've only ever lived in 2 houses. One I was born in, and this one. But we're moving on to new adventures in Devon.
Janice and Jeff have asked us to concentrate our search in South Devon, between Plymouth and Exmouth, an area to the west of their flat in Sidmouth. And before we begin the story of their house hunt, I'm meeting them in Devon to make sure I'm absolutely clear about what it is they're looking for. Well, Janet, Jeff, welcome to Devon.
Thank you.
So what kind of thing are you searching for?
I have a minimum of 4 bedrooms and make sure that both Janet and I have a place to work, a nice study area.
So 2 studies, a home for the books, and lots of bedrooms. This is just for the 2 of you?
Well, we've got lots of family we want to come visit and friends to visit. But I also like running workshops with storytellers.
Is there anything you're not looking for?
I prefer not to have a thatch.
OK. And what are the must-haves?
Well, for me, it'd be nice to have a bungalow, but we're open to looking at 2-storey. But for me, there needs to be the possibility of having a bedroom on the ground floor. I have a bad back, and sometimes it's very difficult to walk upstairs.
And what about the garden? What would you like to see? A lot of space, or...?
Not too much, but Janet wants people to be able to camp in the garden in case we're putting people up.
OK.
So, place for tents.
So no garden for you, as in to enjoy, but somewhere
Not low maintenance.
OK.
I love gardens. I love doing a bit of work.
And what about the key things in the area? What are you looking for there?
We're certainly looking for a local community where we can get involved with activities associated with that. You know, arts and crafts.
We like being with people, and, you know, we like popping in and out of each other's houses. That's what I want to be, part of a community.
And I think it needs to be fairly flat.
Yes, because when I say again when my back is bad, I really can't cope with any kind of slope. But also that's close to local amenities like a pub, a little shop, a post office, so that we can walk down there without having to get in the car and drive somewhere else.
And just remind me of the budget that we're working with?
£750,000 maximum.
And that is if it's a perfect house.
Well, I know we have some fantastic properties for you to see. Let's get searching.
Good.
Thank you.
Let's go.
For their budget of £750,000, Janice and Jeff are looking for a home that's either a bungalow or allows for single-storey living if needs be. They need space for Janet's library of books, and they'd each like a study, as well as at least 4 bedrooms. Outside, they want a garden that's manageable but has room for camping. And location-wise, they'd ideally want to be somewhere that's flat. They'd also like to be close to amenities with an opportunity to be part of the local community. We've chosen a selection of interesting and contrasting properties for Janet and Jeff to view, but they'll only find out the price of each one after they've toured it. The final visit will be to the mystery house, which might leave them thinking they're seeing double, but it should guarantee each and every one of Janet's books a home. We're on our way to the village of Ditford in the foothills of Dartmoor. The rural village is located in the South Devon area of outstanding natural beauty, overlooking the River Avon and surrounded by stunning Devonshire scenery. There's a post office here as well as a parish hall, which curiously doubles up as the Dipford Arms pub 4 times a year. There's also the attractive 13th century St Mary's Church, whose spire towers over the village. 3 miles away is the larger village of Avonwick, where there's a traditional pub and a garage as well as a shop. An 8-minute drive takes us back to tranquil Dipford, where we find this remodelled bungalow.
Oh, this looks interesting.
Very interesting.
It's a bungalow. A beautiful, very spacious bungalow.
Yes, it
And it
is.
seems to go on for ages.
Wow. And a double garage over there, Jeff.
Yes, and plenty of parking,
Yes.
which looks good.
There's a little village in every direction. We're actually on the boundary of the sort of area of outstanding natural beauty.
Yeah.
You've got 2 farmers living either side.
Okay.
There's so much more to tell you.
Yes.
Should we get in?
Let's go.
This wonderfully located property is perfect for Janet, offering her single-storey living. There's a pretty garden to the front, and we're entering straight from the terrace into a beautifully bright kitchen. So you've got the triple aspect kitchen. This was the new part of the bungalow that was built sort of 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Beautiful high ceilings.
Yes.
Yes.
And a wonderful look into your back garden as you wash up of an evening. And then that open plan into your living area.
All right.
Is this somewhere you could have a morning cup of coffee?
Well, probably nip out in there.
Well, your garden door, literally, there's not even a step into the garden. And I know you just want that lovely flat aspect into the garden.
We soon have a table and chairs out there.
I like this forward planning already. Shall we do a little exploring?
Yes.
Plenty more of surprises with this particular house. Come
Okay.
this way, come this way. The sitting room leads to a hallway, of which are 4 bedrooms. We're heading to one at the back of the house. Now, I wanted to show you this bedroom because it's one of the master bedrooms, but this particular one's got an ensuite,
Yes.
which I know you were wanting.
Yes, yes.
And then views
View
out
out
into
there.
your garden.
Very good, very good, very nice.
It's a good size. Plenty of room.
There's a lot of space in this house, and I know you were really after that. We need a home for your books.
Yes.
Shall we see if we can find one in this particular house?
Yes.
I think we may have just the thing.
Oh, excellent.
Sounds
Okay, right. I shall lead the way. Follow me. Opposite the bedroom is a family bathroom with a separate shower, and along the hallway are the other 3 bedrooms. There's a bright double with doors to the terrace at the front, a smaller double at the back, and next to that a room currently used for storage. Then a door at the far end of the bungalow conceals the last room. Okay.
My goodness,
Good grief.
it's another kitchen.
It's
And
a
what
second kitchen.
a beautiful room.
You've got a gorgeous decked area out here.
Yes.
The reason we have a second kitchen in this house is the house is actually owned by 2 friends who live in separate parts of the property. But I thought this would be perfect for you. You can have guests stay in this half of the house, or you could run your writing workshops or storytelling workshops.
I think it worked very well as a workshop area space.
Yes, offers a whole heap of opportunities.
It has that nice feel about it. It's really quite nice and welcoming and just sort of, yes.
Got a cosy feel, hasn't
Yes,
it?
that's the very word I was looking for, cosy.
This property has already revealed one surprise to Janet and Jeff. But there's another one as we head outside. The garden is well laid out with mature trees, shrubs and flowers. And there's even a pond and a small area of woodland. The compact kitchen garden has far-reaching views across neighbouring fields. Adding up to around 3/4 of an acre, there's room for tents too. But that's not all. Is that good? You're already liking what you see. Your beautiful writer's retreat here.
Yes.
That looks good.
2 rooms. One's used as a bedroom at the
Yes.
moment, so you could have guests staying. The other is actually used by the current owners for artist workshops.
Right.
What do you feel when you see that?
Well, I have to say I feel very excited. Very interesting.
So you've got your writer's retreat as well as your bungalow. What do you think the value of this property is?
Well, I think it's got most of the things that we really want. I reckon it must be around about £720,000.
I think it's about £740,000.
OK. Living area and kitchen open up all sorts of possibilities for Janet's workshops. 4 bedrooms allow Jeff to have his own space too. The garden and its views are magnificent, and the writer's retreat is an unexpected bonus for Janet, who could house some of her book collection here.
Oh, yes. There's plenty of room here.
Oh, for your big work table?
Yep. And there's the room next door.
Yes. I was eyeing that up for my photography room.
Well, yes, actually, that's a very good idea, isn't it?
Well, the house here, it seems to meet all the requirements. There's plenty of nice rooms, a few adaptations we will need to do. It looks great. And there's a greater outside space for Janet's library and my photography workshop.
I think this house is very interesting. It has lots of rooms, lots of opportunity for developing things. I think it really is a real contender, and I think this whole place is inspirational. And I would look forward to being able to do some writing here.
Have we potentially found a home for your library, Janet?
Well, there's certainly the space for it.
OK, lots of smiles.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely lots to think about.
Let's keep going.
OK.
Good.
Devon's rich pasture land and moderate climate means a good variety of crops flourish here. But one of the oldest crops known to man, dating back some 30,000 years, has all but died out in the county, and it's called flax. Perhaps known more nowadays for the linseed it produces, its fibres are also traditionally used to make linen. Susie Gillespie is a textile designer based just outside Totnes, who uses the environment around her for inspiration. She marries age-old techniques with her own creative modern-day vision and produces unique creations from linen, made entirely from scratch. She also runs courses in linen spinning and creative weaving. And today, Janet and Jeff have come to meet her at her home studio to learn how it's done. Now, we know Janet loves to spin a yarn, and so does Susie.
I'm a weaver and I process my own flax, and I've always used linen, so I thought it'd be nice to try and make my own. So I've started growing it in the field and processing it to use for my work.
I use textiles and materials in some of my storytelling with my work with people with profound and multiple learning disability because it helps them have a tangible basis for learning a story or feeling a story. And at the moment I buy lots of my materials from shops, but the idea of maybe being able to create my own textures, I think that's quite exciting.
Susie works with homegrown flax planted in the orchard surrounding her studio, which she harvests by hand, pulling it up, roots and all. Once it's dry, the first stage is to remove the seed heads using a large metal comb. The flax is then submerged in water before it's dried again.
This is the flax that I've pulled up and retted for a couple of weeks in a bath of water.
Yeah.
And that just loosens off the fibres from the woody core.
Oh, yeah.
And the fibres are what we need for the spinning to make the yarn. But if I just show you how I do it with the flax breaker, it's an amazing tool. The design's taken from an old-fashioned flax breaker.
It's essentially the same process that has been used for thousands of years. The flax is crimped, which reveals the inner fibres.
You keep working at it.
Yes, I can see how that's
the
turning
fibres
into
are coming out.
the fibres. Wow, that's very interesting.
If Janet's serious about making her own yarn, then she better have a go herself.
I'll take this, you take the handle.
Oops. OK. It's changing. It really is changing, isn't it?
That's probably ready now. I can show you the next step.
OK.
Here.
The next stage is for the flax to be spun into yarn using a spinning wheel before it's woven into fabric. The golden yarn can be dyed a rainbow of colours. Susie creates all kinds of products from her linen, including cushions, artwork and table runners.
So this is the yarn that's been spun.
Yeah, so it's ready now to start weaving. So with the weaving, you use your feet to press the pedals, and we use the two outside pedals to make the alternate shafts come up. These are the shafts. So if you press one pedal down, and then you put the shuttle across, and use the beater to beat the thread in place, and then you take your foot off the pedal and put the other foot on, and change it to the other side.
So I guess it's a lot different from, you know, the machines in a factory where they produce perfect stuff every time.
Yeah, well, I think doing it by hand, you're able to put in elements that you like, and then sometimes if it goes a bit wrong, it just adds to the creativity, and, you know, the human error adds to it.
Now Janet and Jeff are getting the chance to put their stamp on a weave.
Go. Yay! And then go onto the other one. And then we're whacking this one through. Over. That's it. OK, go. OK.
And I see what you've done. Oh, it's really nice.
It's been a lovely day. Learned a lot.
Well,
Learned a lot.
Thanks for coming, and good luck with your house hunting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now our pair have learned how to spin a yarn, it's time to reflect on their Devon journey so far, before our house hunt continues tomorrow. Morning has broken on the next leg of our trip around South Devon, searching for a country home for Janet and Jeff from Ewell in Surrey. And armed with a budget of £750,000, our brief is to find a property that allows for ground floor living. We've still got a mystery house with a rather big bonus.
Now that would be a great place to have a glass of something lovely in the evening on that
nice
patio
veranda.
space there.
Or
The
first
lovely
thing in the
decking.
morning.
Oh, the first thing in the morning, Jeff. I like your style.
And I'll be working out whodunit when I visit a world-famous crime writer's rather magnificent Devonshire home.
Any details in this room that are in her books?
Absolutely. In Dead Man's Folly, Poirot was sitting here. Mrs. Stubbs would be sitting here looking at her emerald ring with her arms stretched out.
Today is day 2 of our property search, and later on I'll be showing our lovely couple their mystery house, or should I say, houses. But first to a rather grand and very imposing property. For our next visit, we're heading just outside the village of Stoke Gabriel, which is situated on a creek of the historic River Dart. The unspoilt village has a good selection of shops, alongside places to eat and drink. Its narrow lanes roll down to the river, where Dart salmon has long been fished. Just a 6-minute drive away is the rather handsome property we've come to see.
What I'm liking is the big, big smiles that I'm seeing already.
That looks great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's full of character. I love the doorway. The doorway is just so inviting. There's so much a story house. It's got a history. There must be a story there somewhere.
It has a great history. Late Georgian, Grade 2 listed, restored just 4 years ago through the entire house. So there is so little work to do inside.
We certainly weren't asking for period, but this may be an exception. Let's go in.
All right, you can't wait, can you? Come on, let's do it.
This impressive double-fronted property was built around 1820 as a farmhouse. The current owners have spent a year transforming the property into the home we're about to explore. It is attached on either side to former farm buildings, which are now separate residences. As we cross the threshold, a grand entrance hall passes a sweeping stairway, which leads to a rather majestic sitting room.
Beautiful cornicing in keeping with the Georgian property, your ceiling rose, the original sash windows from the
Oh, my
farmhouse, and the original shutters as well.
It's a good size room, isn't it? Yeah, I could see myself here.
It's certainly got a nice warm feel to it.
There is another beautiful living room of this size.
Right.
And I thought that could make a perfect downstairs bedroom. Again, it's gorgeous views onto the
Yes.
garden. And behind us is a cloakroom
Yes.
and utility room along this stretch of wall,
Yeah.
which is already plumbed in, and you can
Yeah.
look at adding a shower in there.
Oh, right.
And then you have that perfect downstairs bathroom. So you could investigate that as an option.
Yes.
This house may be a period property, but its fine proportions and excellent flow could provide an appealing option for Janet and Jeff. And at the back of the property is a fantastic farmhouse-style kitchen diner with access to the garden and adjacent parking spaces.
Oh, my word. Oh, look at the flagstones. The original farmhouse floor.
Yes.
A kitchen that has been restored so lovingly. And you have your range.
Yes.
You've got your dining space behind
Yes.
It's very nice.
I do like the fact that they do run into each other, and it's kept a different character from the kitchen. They are separately defined spaces.
And then under this wonderful old farmhouse kitchen, running the entire length of the kitchen and dining area,
Yes.
you have a basement room.
Ah.
So for guests, friends, family coming to stay, that also has a little bathroom downstairs
Yes.
too. More places either for storage
Yes.
and a wonderful library, or just a lovely place for guests to visit. So lots of living space on the ground floor for you.
Yep.
Should we take a look upstairs?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The winding stairway leads to the first floor, passing a wonderful picture window with views to the garden. Up on this floor, off a large landing, there's a bright tiled family bathroom and 4 bedrooms. A spacious twin room lies at the back of the house, a double at the front with a pretty feature fireplace. And next door, there's a smaller room used as a study. But we're on our way to the largest and most impressive of the 4 bedrooms, the master suite.
Lovely and big. Lovely big space.
And I love the fireplace. It's a beautiful sized room.
Off this bedroom, you have an ensuite as well.
Yeah?
Double sinks.
Yes.
And a lovely walk-in wardrobe.
Yes.
Lots of room.
So you don't need wardrobes in here.
No, you don't. Shall we keep taking a look?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
Let's explore those gardens, and maybe now's the time to start thinking about how much a house like this
Yes.
might be worth.
Yes.
You don't want to leave, do you?
No.
Right, come and tell me where you're going to move everything into.
Okay.
Outside, there's a large garage providing additional storage space, and there's also a workshop. We're heading to the grounds, which lie to the front of the house. The exceptional walled garden is filled with bursts of colour. There's also an immaculately manicured lawn surrounded by mature shrubs and trees. And beyond, in a further area of garden, an idyllic summer house in which to soak up the tranquil surroundings.
That is quite a view of the property, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
And this land goes right onto that lovely viewing bench up there.
Yeah.
And not too difficult to maintain. It's mainly lawn in this area.
Yeah.
You're wondering about the price, I'm sure. What do you think this property's on the market for?
I think about £690,000.
I should go a bit higher than that. I think about £730,000.
I say, Janet, you are closer. This property is on the market for £695,000.
Yeah. I think it's a very nice amount, and it's a nice property.
I get the sense you're itching to explore some more.
Yes.
Go on, I'm going to send you off. I shall enjoy this gorgeous view.
This wonderful Georgian home is priced £55,000 under Janet and Jeff's budget. And with all its character and space, it's given them plenty to think about. It's got the farmhouse kitchen Janet was dreaming of and 4 good-sized bedrooms. Outside, the garden is not only beautiful, but also provides workspace options for both Janet and Jeff.
I really like this house. As we approached it down the path, it was immediately a story house. You know, it has a story of its own, but it looks like the typical sort of storybook house.
I love the house. I love the symmetry as you approach the house. I love the sizes of the rooms. Nice tall ceilings, Georgian windows, beautiful lights.
So, have you seen enough?
Yes.
Certainly had a good hunt around.
All pretty positive?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Very interesting.
And we still have that mystery house to see.
Mystery house.
Go on.
It's not just Janet who's drawn to seek inspiration from Devon's beautiful landscape. Many creatives past and present have links to the county, including Charles Dickens, Thomas Hardy and Jane Austen. But one novelist is synonymous with the south of the region, and that's crime writer Agatha Christie. Born in Torquay, she bought Greenway House near Brixham
in 1938 as a holiday retreat, a Georgian property with a Grade 2 star listing. It sits on the banks of the River Dart, and Christie dubbed it the loveliest place in the world. In the year 2000, Christie's daughter gave Greenway to the National Trust, and the property now welcomes over 100,000 visitors a year, plus overnight guests. I've come to meet House and Collections Manager Elaine Ward to find out more about the very private writer and her holiday hideaway, where she was known by her married name.
She used to come here and escape from being Agatha Christie. She was Mrs. Malawan while she was here. She was part of the community. The school children used to come in, the gardeners here, the community. So this is where she came to relax.
So would we find the house in any of her books?
We know it as Greenway, but many Agatha Christie fans will know it as Nass House in Dead Man's Folly. This is where the garden fete was happening and also where the murder victim was found in the boathouse lower on down in the garden. So when you read Dead Man's Folly and you're walking through the garden, walking through the house, you can see the story come alive.
And was this always her holiday home until she passed away?
She did own this house until she passed away. Obviously, subsequently, her daughter and her son-in-law, Anthony, took over this house, but she had this house until she passed away in 1976. Now the National Trust have taken over and we're keeping it in the spirit of Agatha Christie as she's just walked out into the garden.
Well, not only is it an incredibly impressive house, I can understand why Agatha Christie would have loved this view so much.
Absolutely.
It is stunning.
Greenway was built in the late 1700s. Agatha Christie had admired the striking property since she was a little girl. So when, as an adult, she saw it was up for sale, she knew it was her dream house. Today, its interior is just as it was in the 1950s.
This is such a large room, and yet there's a sense of a really cosy atmosphere here. What would Agatha have used this room for?
Well, this is her drawing room, and they used to spend time in here relaxing with the family. Mainly this area here is where they used to read her scripts. She used to sit here with her family, reading the stories, reading the chapters.
So she would actually sit here reading to her family?
Yeah.
Sort of testing out the stories?
Yes, she would.
And are there any details in this room that are in her books?
Absolutely. Again, Dead Man's Folly. Poirot was sitting here. They would come through the doorway here, and then one of the characters were leaving out through the French windows over here. There's also Mrs. Stubbs would be sitting here looking at her emerald ring with her arms stretched out. So you can just imagine her sitting here while she's looking at this.
And are these the sofas that Agatha actually sat in, or have you just replicated everything in the room?
No, everything that is here actually belonged to Agatha Christie and her family. For instance, that's the desk she used to write at while she was here, drafting out plot lines, notebooks, that sort of thing.
This house is truly keep a small boat. It was yet another location featured in her novel, Dead Man's Folly, where one of her characters met an untimely death.
Well, this is a little different from the main house. What's going on here?
As you can see, it's a bit of a dilapidated state, so we're doing a building restoration here. Sadly, we've got plaster coming off the walls here.
So is anything here as it would have been in Agatha's time?
What you see in the building, you've got the fireplace there. That was here, obviously, when Agatha was here. Then you've got some of the furniture.
Oh, this is hers?
Yeah, absolutely. This is her chair. This is where she used to sit and do some reading.
So what are the unique challenges of renovating a property like this?
Well, Boathouse gives it initial challenge straight away. We are right on the River Dart here, so with the environment, we have to put new lime plaster on the walls. We have to make sure that it's clean and dry and very warm to make sure that that plaster dries significantly, otherwise it all has to be taken off and starting again. There's a lot of research involved to make sure we use the correct materials.
Elaine, thank you so much for taking the time to let us come and explore. I know there's lots of work to be done, so I'll let you get on.
Thank you very much.
From one fabulous Devon pad to another, but we've got to wait a little while to get to the bottom of our thriller today.
Mystery house. What are you thinking we might show you?
I think that it's going to be a modern Barker version with open plan.
With a thatched roof?
Just
Possibly not.
Well, you never know.
For our last property, we're travelling to the village of Bigbury-on-Sea, also located in the South Devon area of outstanding natural beauty. Local amenities include a shop and a 16th century pub and restaurant. Just under 6 miles north is the historic market town of Modbury, where a wider selection of independent shops and eateries can be found, including an attractive 14th century coaching inn. A quarter of an hour's drive takes us back to Bigbury-on-Sea and our mystery property, which is located behind a sweeping circular drive. Just 200 metres from the sea, it boasts a bird's-eye view of Burr Island, a tidal island reached by foot at low tide and a sea tractor when the tide is high. It provided literary inspiration to Agatha Christie and also attracted Noel Coward to its Art Deco hotel in the 1930s.
So here we are, our mystery house.
Wow.
First impressions,
It's a bungalow.
which is what you were after?
Yay!
And it looks very big. It seems to go a long way back.
Yes.
It does. Any idea why it's our mystery house?
Not yet.
This particular house is our mystery house because it's 2 houses.
2 houses.
2 houses. So you have the main house here.
Yeah.
And then the other house, you know, you're talking about your writing groups, friends and family coming to stay
Yes.
at. You could run it as a going concern.
Yes.
Which is what the current owners do. They rent out this section of the house and live in the annex at the back.
Yes.
Oh.
What do you think of the idea of the 2 properties in one?
I think it's got potential.
Should we see inside? Come
Yes,
on, let's
please.
do it.
Please.
This wonderfully located bungalow was originally built in the 1960s, but was extended 5 years ago to create a self-contained annex. We're entering via a hallway into the original part of the property, currently rented out for holidays by the present owners.
It's a nice big hall space.
Oh, yes.
Already a couple of bookshelves up.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
room for more. And then a lovely big living area for you.
yes. It's a nice big space.
It's ideal.
Yes.
With those lovely views of Burr Island.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
Now that would be a great place to have a glass of something lovely in the evening on that
nice
patio
veranda.
space there.
Or first
lovely
thing in the
decking.
morning.
Oh, the first thing in the morning, Jeff. I like your style.
Our welcoming mystery house has already got Jeff's imagination working. Just behind us is a dining room area, off which is a beautifully finished kitchen with access to a small courtyard garden, and there's a utility room next door. Then, behind the kitchen is a nautically themed family bathroom, serving 3 double bedrooms. There's one with doors to the courtyard and a smart shower room. Next door is a twin, and another double is lucky enough to have views across to Burr Island. That's the main bungalow, and next door is the adjoining annex the current owners call home. It's just the other side of the courtyard. We're starting off in the open-plan kitchen and living room, which takes up half the property.
It's very nice. Certainly a nice annex.
You could use this as maybe your writer's retreat and then have the main part of the property to yourselves. There is also a little office outside,
Right.
which is a converted garage.
Right.
Which could be
Right.
your man cave, Jeff, if you wanted. So our mystery house does have lots of options for you.
Yeah.
Should we go and see the master bedroom?
Yes,
Yes.
let's.
The sleeping quarters just next door take up the other half of the annex.
So, big room. Lovely cupboard space for both of you. You've got
Yes.
full built-in wardrobes there.
Yeah.
Very large bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Lovely walk-in shower.
Yes.
Great.
So nice big space for you in the
Yes.
annex here.
Certainly. It's a beautiful master bedroom.
And what about that view into the garden?
Yes.
Nice to wake up to that. And when you're in bed, you can see all the way up the hill.
Well, now you've had a look, shall we head out into that garden?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, come on.
The main bungalow benefits from wonderful sea views. Behind the annex is a stunning and expansive garden surrounded by fields and hilly countryside. The grounds are well kept, with beautiful flower beds, mature trees, a kitchen garden and a greenhouse. There's also lapsed planning permission for a double garage, which could become Janet's longed-for library.
It's worth coming up this tiered
Yes.
garden to catch that view
Yes.
of Burr Island and the ocean.
Just marvellous.
I think it's easy maintenance, just the right size. So easy to look after. Even I might better cut this grass.
So it would work for you.
It certainly would.
You've seen the garden, the house, now down to the price.
The difficult bits.
What do you think our mystery house is on the market for?
I'm go optimistically at £720,000.
OK, Janet?
But I would think around about £680,000.
Take each of those offers, come halfway, 700,000.
Right.
Offers in excess of 700,000, so you're
Okay.
both 20 out.
Yes.
Would you like to take another look at the house?
Yes, please.
You do that. I'm going to take in the view a little bit longer. Enjoy.
Right.
Thank you.
This mystery property with its bonus annex could leave Janet and Jeff with £50,000 in the kitty if they decide to make it theirs. It offers Janet accessible single-level living in a spacious home with more options than they could have dreamed of for housing Janet's library, as well as welcoming guests and holding workshops. And Jeff would have a photography room for himself. Outside, the garden is perfect for our pair and comes complete with spectacular views that are sure to inspire some of Janet's storytelling. Plus, it's close to amenities.
The mystery house, it is very interesting. Being divided as two, it gives great potential in dividing up in the way that we want to use it.
I found the mystery house intriguing, and I can see the possibility of living here. I can see how we might use it, how we might set it out. But I think for me, I'd need to know more about the area before I could say yes, definitely a contender.
You've had a good look round the mystery house.
Certainly have.
You've seen all the properties now.
Yes.
Yes.
Lots to think about.
Yes.
Very lots to think about.
Shall we find somewhere to have a coffee and a chat?
Yes, please.
Let's do that, come on. Right, it's time to catch up with Janet and Jeff and find out what their next step is going to be. And I have to admit, even at the end of our search, I'm not 100% sure in which direction they're heading. Janet, Jeff, do we have a front runner from all the properties we've seen?
Well, I think there are two which sort of spoke to us more, and that was the Georgian house and the mystery house. We're interested in both properties, so part of what we aim to do is to go back, have a look around the areas, find more details about the kinds of things that go on.
And will you go back for a second viewing on either of the properties?
I think that's really subject to, testing out the area, finding out more about the area, what the local facilities are.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck with your continued search, and I look forward to coming and exploring, perhaps borrowing a book from your library very soon.
You'll be very welcome.
Perhaps you'll join Janet at one of her workshops there.
I'm in. Sign me up now.
Come and tell a story.
So we're at the end of a successful few days house hunting here in Devon. I'm really pleased that we've managed to find Janet and Jeff two properties that they really liked. It just remains to be seen in this particular tale whether it's their heads or their hearts that will win out. See you next time on Escape to the Country.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, then apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.